guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tyler and I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to do a full season review on the 2021 Canyon Stoic 2. I got this bike way back in March and I freaking loved it ever since. And apparently I'm not alone. I did a review on this bike when I first got it and it's by far the most viewed video on my channel. Not to mention it's also been named Vital Mountain Bike's Hardtail of the Year, so that's pretty sick. Since this was a brand new bike for this year, and now that I've been shredding it for an entire season, I thought you might be interested in hearing how it performed. I've ridden this thing on trails, pump tracks, dirt jumps, a downhill park, and even in my house. Wait, what? Never mind. The point is, I've been riding this thing all season long, and I've really loved it. So let me tell you all about it. Okay, so the Canyon website says this about the Stoic. Modern geometry, stellar kit, and a bomber frame make the Stoic the go-to rig for tackling technical trails, sessioning jumps, or messing about on the pump track. It's a hardtail without limits. Now that's a big claim, but honestly, I think it's the truth. Let me start by taking you through some of the different types of riding I've done so far. First off, I've ridden this thing on a bunch of trails. I've ridden flow trails, tech trails, jump trails, skinnies, big features, and even big climbs. And the Stoic was a beast on it all. Honestly, I've loved it for all those things. The geometry with the slack head angle and low standover height has been fantastic. The durability has been amazing, and I haven't seen a need for any other bike when I'm out on the trails. I will say I've never ridden this on a true hardcore tech trail with tons of rocks and roots, so I can't say if this hardtail would be up for that challenge, but it's been awesome for everything that I've ridden. I'm also a huge fan of dirt jumps, and even though this is a bigger trail bike, it killed it on the jumps. It's light enough with a more aggressive geometry, so it worked really well for the jumps. The only thing that could have made it better is if I had a second wheel set with faster rolling tires. The Magic Marys are awesomely aggressive and give so much grip out on the trails, but they do feel a bit slower on smoother stuff. But that's okay. I think it's the best overall choice for the bike. I also rode a pump track this summer. That was different, but also awesome. I'm sure a dirt jumper or BMX would have been ideal for the pump track, but for someone who doesn't ride them all the time, I thought the Stoic was more than capable. I just locked out the suspension and went for it. Again, some faster rolling tires would have been nice, but I still had a blast riding the pump track on the Stoic. And finally, I've even taken the Stoic Hardtail to a legit Midwest downhill park. Aside from some of the double black trails that I wouldn't have touched anyway, the Stoic blew my mind with how it performed. There were full suspension bikes all around me, but I was tackling everything on this hardtail, and honestly, I had no complaints whatsoever. The 140 mil of travel on this Sun Tour fork was really enough for me, and it really did its job well. The Stoic was a beast, and I loved every minute of it. Yeah!
Oh yeah, he's hitting it on a hardtail.
Yeah!
Woo! Yo!
Yeah, boy! So, as you can tell, I've had a blast riding the Stoic this summer. And to tell you the truth, it really has been a hardtail with no limits. When I first bought this bike, I was a little worried about it being a 29er. I'd heard great things about 27.5s for jumps and pump tracks and things like that. But let me tell you, this thing's great. It rolls so fast, so much faster than 27.5 bikes I've ridden by, and it's just a blast. And it still works good on the jumps and the pump track. Okay, now let's talk components. I'll start by saying almost everything on this bike has been awesome right out of the gate. I did convert to a tubeless tire setup, and I did add a dropper post. Those are definitely some added costs, but I thought they were definitely worth it and allowed you to have just a better experience overall, especially the dropper post, allowing you to take advantage of the more modern geometry. Could you still have a good time riding the bike without these upgrades? Absolutely, but were they worth it? I definitely think so. The Sun Tour fork with 140 mil of travel. The bomber aluminum frame with an aggressive geometry. The awesome Shimano brakes with 180 mil rotors front and rear. The really basic but awesome saddle. The simple but reliable Shimano Dior drivetrain. The 29-inch Alex rim wheels. And the awesome Magic Mary tires. And almost everything else has been great. But there are a couple of downsides that I'll mention. First, the grips. I thought the stock grips were going to be okay, but as soon as I got any sort of sweat on my hands, no grip whatsoever. So I quickly upgraded to some P&W loam grips. They're only 20 bucks, and that made a world of difference. I also started riding with gloves, and I've had no complaints ever since. The only real mechanical issue I've had whatsoever was with the cranks. There's a small crank bolt that holds the cranks tight clamped to the bike. Now that piece is made out of plastic, and it broke off, which made the cranks fall off several times. Ah! Dang it! Oh, that sucks. My stupid crank fell off. Obviously that was no good, and it was kind of a pain in the neck because the crank set is made by a cheap Chinese brand, and it was really hard to find the right size and shape for a replacement. Finally, I did find one at my local bike shop. They replaced it with an aluminum crank bolt, and I've had no issues ever since. So yeah, kind of annoying, not the end of the world, but I at least wanted to mention it to you guys. Overall, the Stoic has been awesome, my best friend out on the trails, and I would definitely recommend buying one once they're back in stock. If you're interested in learning more, I did a ton of riding on this thing all through the summer, and I posted a bunch of videos about that. So feel free to check out those videos if you're interested. Sadly, the riding season is all but over here where I live, but I'll be back in the spring with a ton more videos, so please consider subscribing and getting on that notification bell so you know when my next videos post. Subscribe. Well, that's all I got for today. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you really enjoyed watching this, and I hope you go out and buy a Canyon Stoic. And again, this is not sponsored in any way, I just love the bike. And remember, as always, make the most of what you got and enjoy the ride. See you next time.